What's up, nail geeks? Today I have a fresh batch of polishes that were sent to me for review to show you guys today. This is for February's polish pickup, and the theme this month is famous duos. Now, the makers were able to interpret this theme however they wanted to, so some will have a secondary polish to complement their polish pickup shade available in their shops. Some took actual famous duos and put it into one bottle, and some also paired up with other makers. First up, we have Blush Lacquers. This is Johnny, inspired by Johnny Cash. Now, the pairing polish with this one is June. So, Johnny is described as a deep black base with a subtle teal to blue to purple shifting shimmer and scattered hollow. In low lighting, this polish will appear nearly solid black, and in brighter lights, you'll see that really delicious shimmer come out to play. So here, I do apologize, my skin looks kind of funky in these in the videos for both blush shades, and that's mostly because I wanted you guys to see that shimmer in here. In person, it is just super, just inky, shifty, and more in your face than what you're seeing here. I did try to catch it on my macros on my blog photos, so definitely check out my blog post that I'll link below to see it. Now, this one has a very smooth, rich formula to it. Personally, I could see most getting full opacity at 2 coats, though if you prefer to go in with thinner coats, then 3 coats would do just fine. In person, you're mostly going to see it this really just rich in your face black, but I'm telling you guys, this shimmer is just this secret little magic going on here. So it looks mostly to me like this teal type sapphire, and then on extreme angles you'll see it shift over to a vibrant purple, and it just gives a really nice inner glow to that black base, and definitely more obvious in person. I think on the full hand shot you're seeing pretty much what I'm seeing in person. There's just a really nice glow overall to it. The hollow is scattered and it gives you a nice dense sparkle across the nail. So this second polish is June, and this will be available in Blush's website on the weekend of Polish Pickup's launch, and you can use the code SHIPJUNEFREE in the Blush website, and that will allow you to get your bottle without having to pay additional shipping outside of Polish Pickup. So June's official description is a soft, dreamy turquoise base with a golden green shifting shimmer and a sprinkling of scattered hollow. Now, this one is also $11.50, as well as Johnny, which is $11.50 as well. For both polishes in the Polish Pickup US shop, US site, and the UK shop, which is launching this month, there is no cap for either one of them. Now, once again, I do want to apologize. My lighting was a little acting odd, and my camera's autofocus was just really just zoning in on this color. So here I'm going to say it is darker in person. It's looking more green leaning, I think, in these shots. On my swatch photos, in my opinion, on my monitor, those look color accurate to me. It's this really soft, almost pastel type of turquoise. It definitely has some green undertones to it, but in my opinion, it does have more of an aqua type blue shade to it. Now, this one also has a really nice shimmer in it. Mostly you'll see it in this golden type appearance, which warms up the whole color, but on extreme angles you'll see that gold shift come out to play. The hollow is scattered on this one as well, so it gives you a really nice dense sparkle, just like Johnny. I think these two go really, really well together, and I think both of them are very flattering on any skin tone, really, especially June. Now, on this post, I do understand that this is going to be a lot of information overload, so I'll have this like really super broken down on my blog post, and then I'll have a more condensed version below in the description. So next up, we have Bee's Knees. Now, Bee's Knees did pair up with Night Owl Lacquer, and the two of them took on the duo of Molly Weasley and Bellatrix Lestrange from Harry Potter. So Bee's Knees is the Dark Lord's most loyal servant, obviously for Bellatrix. And the official description is a dark evergreen linear hollow with red to green ghost flakes. Price is 14, and there is no cap on the US or the UK shop. So this one is very holographic in person. It has a super ultra rich buttery feel during application. As you're seeing here, it's damn near a one coater, and it just gives crazy coverage overall. Now in my swatches, I feel like those were kind of hiding those little interesting flakes on this one. I think the hollow kind of overtook my lens, but I think on the video you're kind of seeing that twinkle that they give. So even with the super ultra holographic effect on this one, those flakes give this really interesting like copper type twinkle overall. You'll see them go from a red to green on different angles, but mostly you'll see it this reddish copper. And they behaved lovely for me, and as you're seeing on the full hand shot, there's that nice little twinkle, and I had no issues whatsoever with them. They picked up very easily on the brush. Now, next is the Night Owl Lacquers Duo to the Bee's Knees. This is Love is Powerful Magic. Official description is an indigo tinted base with red, bronze, copper multi-chrome shift, red to green to gold aurora shimmer, bright silver flakes, gold hollow micro shreds, and crystal chameleon flakes in a purple, red, blue, and purple, red, gold. This one is insane to me. So the shimmer in it is very, very strong, and the base is this really just interesting, just like a vibrant type purple that has a strong indigo undertone to it. On build up, when you start going into your second or third coat depending, you'll really see it come out to be more indigo, but on the thinner coats you'll see it more as a vibrant purple. So the formula on this one is a bit on the medium to slightly light side. It does need just a touch of building up. Depending on your application type, I'm going to say full opacity between 2 and 3 coats. I did go in for a third coat just to kind of even everything out. I noticed on this nail I was applying kind of normal, and then on my other nails, for whatever reason, I was applying it kind of thin. So just to even all of my nails out for my swatches, I went in for that third coat. So just depending on nail length, application type, what have you, 2 to 3 coats max on this one. There's also a dense scattered sparkle across your nails as well. There's just a ton going on with this. So with the really very shifty multi-chrome pigment in here, there's also the flakes that also like give their own little shift, and then the sparkles overall just give you just kind of a really dense blingy effect overall. Like I said, very shifty. I did try to catch all the shifts on my macro shots. I don't think I did them justice, to be honest, but overall just really, really shifty multi-chrome. Next up, we have by Danny Viana. This is Portable Swamp, inspired by the duo Fred and George Weasley from Harry Potter. Official description is a muddy teal, slightly hollow jelly base with multi-chrome glitter and multi-chrome flakies. Price on this one is $12, and the cap for the US store is 100 bottles, and the UK cap is 10 bottles. So just to kind of touch on the UK caps real fast, Polish Pickup is offering shipping to the UK. Now, I know some of those caps seem kind of low. However, they did state that they're going to move stock around as needed. So just throwing that out there for our international friends. So formula on Portable Swamp is definitely jelly. It really just builds up super quickly on the second and third coat. On the second coat, I did see just a touch of my smile line showing, so I went in for a third coat just to kind of even everything out and give me that full coverage. The nice thing about this one is it is loaded with those awesome multi-chrome flakies, so they give you this really sweet pond effect as you're building up your layers. Overall, I'm going to say go in with light to normal coats, and most will probably get full opacity at 3 coats. It does have a nice sparkly effect to it as well, and those flakes give a nice multicolored contrast against that kind of a, I want to say almost like a dusky type of green, flirting with a teal in my opinion. Next up, we have Cameo Colors. This is Dude, We're a Little Married, inspired by the epic duo from Scrubs for JD and Turk, which I'm a huge fan of that show. I think it's hilarious, and I probably binged it in a matter of 2 weeks. No shame here. Official description on this one is a thermal that is blue when warm and green when cold, full of blue to green and indigo to purple shifting shimmers, indigo, midnight sparkle, and hollow microflakes with lime, blue, and gold UCC flakes. Price on this one is $11, and the cap for the US store is 90 bottles, and the UK cap is 10 bottles. So formula on this one feels a little bit on the lighter side to me. I do feel like this is one that, depending on your application type, 2 to 3 coats are needed for full opacity. Now, I think when I was really trying to get you guys to see the transition on this one from the blue to the green, I was running a little warm that day, so I feel like my swatch photos are kind of not showing you guys the more of a drastic change with it. It's definitely very reactive, as you can see here between each of my takes for the layers. You're seeing it go from the blue to the green. So if you have a little bit of free edge, you're going to see blue on your nail bed and then green on your free edge. Overall, this one is very, very sparkly. It has a really nice depth that builds up to it with all those flakes and sparkles in there. And I had no texture whatsoever after top coat. Everything behaved very nicely for me. And here is that full hand shot where I'm trying to get that blue to come out to play with my super sophisticated hair dryer. Now, I feel like my camera just wasn't really picking up that transition. So I just want to throw it out there in person. It's definitely obvious between the blue and the green. I do think that I did catch it just a little bit on my swatch photos, but it was being a very reactive little thing for me when I was swatching it. Next up, we have Crystal Knockout. Now, Crystal Knockout will have another polish to go with her duo that will be available in her shop the weekend of Polish Pickup's launch. This was inspired by Rami and Michelle for the duo. And this first one is the blue that will be offered to Polish Pickup's website. And this is I Can't Believe How Cute I Look. Official description is a super sparkly topper filled with hollow cyan to indigo aurora shimmer, iridescent blue flakes, shifting rainbow micro glitter, and hollow micro flakies. Price on this one is $12, and the cap for the US store is 145 bottles, and the UK cap is 15 bottles. This one is insanely sparkly in person, super, super blingy. Overall, the formula is a very kind of a medium to heavy jelly feel, and it just applies very, very rich on the nail. I could almost see this, you might even be able to build this up by itself, but I just, for the sake of the video and trying to make it obvious as to all of the shiftiness and sparkliness here, I did swatch it over black. The second polish in the duo is OMG. It's a flip phone. Now, this is a pinky sister to I Can't Believe How Cute I Am. Price on this one is $12, and since this one is going to be launched in her shop that weekend, there is no cap on this. So same thing as I Can't Believe How Cute I Am. It is very, very dense. It applies pretty full coverage in my opinion, and very, very shifty, super sparkly. I really don't think even the videos did these two justice. In person, I thought they were just really in your face, super glowy and very sparkly. After top coating, I didn't have any texture with either one of them, and I picked up all of the awesome pigments in both of these bottles very easily. I think over any color, either one of these are going to be just super flattering. Next up, we've got Emily DeMolly. This is We're There, inspired by Harry and Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber, which, side note, I laughed so hard when I saw this inspiration because I'm a huge fan of the original Dumb and Dumber. I think that movie is so funny, and it will never not make me laugh. Official description on We're There is a duck egg blue to green with blue chrome flakes. Price on this one is $11, and there is a 230 bottle cap. So this Crelly is very smooth sailing on application. It's almost a one coater depending on your application type. Personally, I would recommend 2 normal coats and you're going to get that nice thick buildup on the nail and it's going to look real plump. Overall, I had no problems with those flakes coming up on the brush. Side note, I do give my bottles a nice shake before applying, and these applied super smooth. I had no issues whatsoever with them, and after top coating, I had no texture whatsoever. This one does dry down a bit on the glossy side on its own, so I think any top coat will be fine, in my opinion. And I think on my monitor here, what you guys are seeing is what I'm seeing in person for the color. It's an interesting kind of like a dusky bluish greenish color. It has a more of a blue, but it does have a slight green undertone in my opinion. Next we have Girly Bits. Now Girly Bits did team up with 1850 Lacquer, not shown here. This is a duo inspired by Sherlock and Moriarty. So this is high functioning sociopath. Girly Bits took on Sherlock for that duo. Official description is a tweed inspired polish in a mossy green to brown hollow with color shifting shimmer and flakes. Price will be $13, and for the US store and the UK shop there is no cap on bottles. Formula on this one felt medium to almost kind of light to me, but it built up super fast. On this second coat here, you'll see what I'm talking about. So in my swatches, I'm wearing 3 coats. I went in with just normal coats and it was fully opaque for me. On my other nails, I went in a little thin, so I needed to do 3 coats for those. So just for the sake of evening everything out for my swatches, I did go in for that 3rd coat here. So I do want to throw out there that this one is definitely opaque in 2 coats if you do normal coats. If you go on the thinner side, then you'll definitely need to go up to 3 coats. So 2 to 3 coats for full opacity. This one is very holographic, very in your face, and there's a strong coppery type bronzish sort of shimmer to it that is a very strong gold on extreme angles. I did try to catch that in my macro shots for you guys. So much hollow. Those flakes behave nice and easily for me. I had no problems with them either. I had no texture with this one either. And they just give their own little twinkling shifty effect as well. Here we have Lemming Lacquer. This is inspired by Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This is not myself today. Official description is a red-violet jelly with bright blue shimmer and blue-green turquoise iridescent flakes. Price on this one is $13 and the US cap is 250 bottles. The UK cap is 30 bottles. So this one is very true to a jelly polish. Depending on the amount of layers that you use, depends on how rich and deep you're going to get that color. So the first coat does start off just a touch on the sheer side. You're definitely going to see some visible nail line, and it's going to take on more of a violet-ish sort of shade. On the second coat, you really see that red violet appearance start to come out. In person, this one is really glowy with those flakes. I do not think my swatches or the video do it justice. They're all over the place on the nail, and it's like just a really just glowing luminescent type look. You're kind of seeing it here on my tips. I think it's just definitely one you need to see in person. On the third coat, it definitely gave me that darker appearance, and I think the flakes kind of showed up just a little bit more. But just know in person it's much more obvious, and they give that luminescent blue flaky type appearance, especially because they lay down as a pond effect between your layers. So this one does dry down just a bit on the satin side, so personally I would recommend a really nice glossy top coat, and it's going to make those flakes really pop. Just a nice vibrant blue against that reddish, almost burgundy-like base. I had no issues whatsoever with the flakes coming up on the brush, and after top coating I had no texture with this one. I do want to note that because it is so loaded with those flakes, Just go easy on your brush strokes. Don't try to push the brush down too hard, and let it kind of apply itself essentially so that you can avoid any balding on your nails. Next up, we've got Pretty Beautiful Unlimited, inspired by the Sun and Moon, specifically the legendary Pokemon Sun Galeo and Lunala. Now, the Sun will be offered in Polish pickup, and Lunala, which is the Moon one, will be offered in her shop during Polish pickup's opening weekend. So the Sun, or the white one as you're seeing here, is Solar Beam, and the official description is a white curly base that leans gray due to the sprinkling of gunmetal and silver holographic microflakies. There's 6 types of UCC flakies and a subtle dusting of Aurora pigment that shifts from cyan to indigo. Price is $11.50. On the US site, there will be a 110 bottle cap. On the UK site, there will be a cap of 16 bottles. So I was very excited for this one, as I am a rabid white curly with rainbow effect type person. This is one of my favorite finishes, and in person it's this really nice bright white. There is a touch of a gray undertone to it, and those flakies just layer up very, very nicely, and you're going to get like a rainbow of colors from all of them. There is also a bit of a sparkly effect as well in the final look. And overall, I think on this one, most are going to have full opacity between 2 and 3 coats. It builds up very easily, especially for being a white polish. And after top coating, I had no texture whatsoever. The second polish is Moon Blast, or for the moon. Official description is it starts out as a medium denim blue base with multichrome pigment that shifts from blue to purple, red to gold, holographic pigment and micro flakies, and topped with 2 types of crystal chameleon flakies. So this one is in her shop that weekend, so there is no cap on it, and the price is $11.50. Formula on this one feels medium to me. It built up very, very quickly. As you're seeing on this first coat, there's pretty much barely any of my small lines showing. This is definitely, in my opinion, an indigo type borderlining denim blue base, and those flakies just really pop against it. So mostly you'll see them as this coppery reddish color, and then sometimes they'll twinkle over to a gold, and there's a very dense, very, very dense scattered hollow across it as well. I had no issues whatsoever with this one either. The flakes laid down beautiful for me. After top coating, there's no texture whatsoever. Now this one does dry down a bit on the satin side as well, so personally I would recommend a good glossy top coat, and you'll really see all of those awesome pigments just pop on the nail. Next up, we have Pretty Jelly. This is Hiccup and Toothless, inspired by How to Train Your Dragon namesake characters. Official description is a blue jelly with green hexes, fine lime gold holographic glitter, hollow, and a rainbow of UCC flakies. Price on this one is $12, and there is no cap in either the US or the UK site. So this one has a very, very dense feel during application. It has a squishy jelly-like feel for your brush strokes, but it's a very, what I would consider a more opaque type of jelly polish. It applies super smooth and very rich, and it is very sparkly in person. I think some of my macro shots kind of caught just how much sparkles and flakes are in this one, but the video was my favorite for it because it can really see just how it lights up. And just so much blinginess, for lack of better words. Personally, I think full opacity for most will be reached at 2 coats on this one. I really can't see anyone needing to go to 3, but that's just my opinion. After top coating, I had no texture whatsoever. It was smooth sailing to the touch from here on, and as you're seeing here on that full shot, just very, very sparkly in your face and very flattering. And the last polish I have to share with you guys is Supernatural Lacquer, Ride It Like You Stole It. Now, Supernatural did team up with Dollish Polish, not shown, that is inspired by Deadpool and his unicorn. So official description on this one is a blood red jelly base with blue to purple aurora and duochrome shimmer blend, multicolored color shift and illusion flakes, and a small smattering of holographic sparkle. Price is $12 and there is no cap for the US or the UK site. So this one's very interesting to me. So it feels like a super smooth jelly on application. It built up very quickly for me. I'm going to say, in my opinion, full opacity at 3 coats for this one. And once you hit full opacity, you'll see that what I'm going to call a Deadpool red on your nails. The Aurora shimmer in here is kind of being shy, I think, in my video. In person, there's a very warm purple and blue shifty glow overall. And the flakes give a scattered appearance over the nail, and it's just really pops against that base. So this one does dry a touch on the satin type side. So personally on this one as well, I would recommend a good glossy top coat, and you'll really get that shimmer and those flakes to pop. There is also a scattered holographic effect to this one, so it gives you a lovely twinkling across the nail, so it's like a dense type of sparkle all over. After top coating, I had no texture whatsoever. The pigments behaved very nicely for me in this one. And I do want to point out that this also doubles as a topper, which I'm going to show you guys here in a moment. So depending on how you want to wear it, I think there's a lot of versatility with this one. I'm going to show it to you guys over black, mostly because I always use black as toppers in videos just to really be able to make it obvious as to what I'm seeing in person. So if you wore it over a dark color, it's going to take on this interesting, like a reddish tinted topper, and that Aurora shimmer really pops over dark colors. It's going to give you a very glowy type of blue, and then on extreme angles, you'll see that purple shift come out to play. The flakes and the sparkle, in my opinion, really pop if used as a topper. And after top coating, you'll see all of those sparkles really, really well. So I think with this one, you'll have a lot of uses for it. Definitely over dark colors, but I could also see over light colors how this one would really have a nice popping, glowy type effect. Polish Pickup goes live February 1st at 11 a.m. Eastern Time and will run until February 4th at midnight Eastern Time. Once again, I'm going to have a little bit of a breakdown as to all the info I shared in the video below, and it'll be very much more broken down in further detail on my blog post, which is linked below as well. I'll also have the Polish Pickup shop linked below so you guys can get on there and make those wish lists. And I'm also going to link you guys to the Polish Pickup Facebook fan group where they vote on each month's themes, and there's additional swatches and all kinds of good stuff there for you guys to check out. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.